Hello, and welcome to the September edition of Gradcast. I'm Vince Greco.
And I'm Naviere Walkewicz, class of 99. We're so glad you're here.
Yes, we are. What a show we have in store today. What are our cadets doing away from USAFA in the summer? We'll let you know. Reunion and tailgate season is upon us. Details on those events. Some big news about grads in the national spotlight. And some changes are in store for Gradcast. That and more coming up. Naviere, should we start with the news?
Let's start with the news, Vince.
All right, this is pretty interesting to me. And this is one of the things that the foundation and association supports. It's called Cadet Summer Research Programs. So every year, let's take last year, for example, over 300 cadets participated in cadet summer research programs. That means they're taking their research beyond just the classroom into the real world and applying that in big-time corporations. We have cadets going to NATO, Space Command, the White House, Amazon, Boeing, Cornell University, and Tesla. That's just to name a few.
Probably shorter to say where they're not going.
You're probably right. But here's the thing that is amazing about today's cadets. One, it's giving them real hands-on experience, right? Real world situations. But the thing that's interesting to me, you were a cadet. Mm-hmm. You get 3 weeks of leave during your summer vacation.
Yes.
You also might have a military training session, an academic session. In the academic piece, these cadets are now using that academic 3 weeks, coupling it with their summer leave. So they're not going home so that they can do these types of research projects in the summer, going above and beyond. But hats off to these corporations that are allowing this, but let's also be honest, they're getting a lot of value from our cadets as well.
100%. I think this is really interesting because often we'll hear from our graduates, one day when USAFA, when we give, what are some things that it goes to? Is this one of the things that one day when USAFA helps fund?
Absolutely. And we do reach out as a development team, and we are working with the Boeings and the Amazons, et cetera, to get these cadets to those places of industry. And the caveat here is those companies are paying for this. They're paying the per diem for cadets, lodging, rental cars, whatever it might be. So it's a real value to the academy and, of course, the foundation to provide that opportunity for cadets. And so hats off to those companies. But at the end of the day, our goal is still to graduate as many career officers as we can. But at the end of that spectrum, if we have 1,000 graduates, not all of them, whether medical, they might be turned back. Maybe they'll serve for 5, 6, 10, 20 years. But what are we doing?
We're building that connection right away. That's right.
100%.
I love that.
And some of these grads that are also in the news, I don't know if they ever participated in cadet summer research programs, but we'd want to let you know that the U.S. Senate confirmed Colonel Matthew Kozma, 95, as Undersecretary of Intelligence and Analysis at the Department of Homeland Security. We also recently shared in the news that Matthew Lohmeyer, 06, was confirmed by the Senate as Undersecretary of the Air Force. And additionally, Colonel retired Matthew Anderson, 97, has been nominated as Deputy Administrator of NASA.
There's never a shortage of, where our Air Force Academy graduates are really leading in our nation, whether it's, in uniform, out of uniform, in, government service and public service. I mean, It's really just impressive.
And these are the ones we've learned about through national media, local media. Mm-hmm. Hey, grads, don't be afraid to tap your own back or your own shoulder. If this is you, let us know.
We want to share it. Absolutely.
We certainly do. A company of note that's in the news, Firefly Aerospace, a market-leading space and defense technology company, was awarded a $176 million NASA commercial lunar payload services contract. The CEO of Firefly Aerospace is none other than 99 grad Jason Kim.
You know it, my classmate. We didn't only just bring him because he's a, gold will shine 99er, but, congratulations, Jason, you and your team. That is incredible.
And that's just one of many stories. We've got many CEO, men and women in this country, CFOs, COOs leading the charge. And we're just very proud to share those stories with our Gradcast community.
Yes, Gradcast is where we would love to share it. Please do let us know.
Well, that's the news. How about we turn to some updates?
Let's hit it.
Next of kin?
Next of kin. So, what a beautiful way to recognize, those that fall within the course of a year. So next of kin, has really evolved. The next of kin reception and the memorial ceremony, it does highlight our cadets that pass, our graduates, and our ATOs that have, served as well. And really the way we look at it is for the year prior. So from January through December of 2024, we invite those families to the academy to really honor their loved ones in August. And so we've done this now, certainly since COVID, we've come back in person, and we probably, see between 150 and 200 family members of those that have passed. It's pretty incredible.
It's a great program. And if this is something of interest to you, it's a program that the association and foundation supports on a regular basis. There's funds set up for that. If you'd ever like to be a part of that or contribute to help this Next of Kin program, we would encourage you to do so.
I will tell you that, the families find it incredibly meaningful. When you're dealing with loss, there is something that's, really special about having the community wrap their arms around you in such a, meaningful way.
No doubt about it.
Yes. Also in updates, we want to talk about some things that happened in the cadet wing for all our graduates out there. Remember that day, your 2-degree year where you crossed the line into your classroom and you incurred a commitment. Well, the class of 2027 just had, dinner, as well as they actually signed a scroll. Now, I don't know if you know that, Vince, but when I went through, you went to class, you incurred a 5-year minimum commitment. Obviously, you have to still graduate first, but now they sign a scroll, actually put their name to a scroll. And, just another way to really celebrate that decision, to a life of service, at least 5 years beyond graduation anyway.
Can you take us back to when you crossed that line? Because you talk about the commitment. It is a life-changing commitment. You are committed to the United States Air Force for, as you said, a minimum of 5 years.
Right. It's funny because it took me back, thinking about basic training when you raise your right hand and you're waving your caps in the air and you already feel so inspired. But there's something different about knowing when I step into this classroom, it's really real, right? Because you could actually leave the academy before that without any type of commitment. And so I think the gravity sets in, and what an honor. I think at the time we don't really realize it, but now as looking backward, I'm so glad that I did step into that classroom and had the opportunity to serve.
Yeah, I'm thankful to all the cadets that just did this in this past month.
Yes.
Congratulations to them, and thank you again for their service.
Yes. All right, really excited to bring in this special update. We've been talking about it in the past couple of months. We rolled out the new brand for the U.S. Air Force Academy Association and Foundation, formerly known as the AOG and the Air Force Academy Foundation. But I have a special friend of mine, a dear colleague, that's going to help talk us through a little bit more about that brand. It is our Senior Vice President of Marketing and Communications. His name is Mr. Wyatt Hornsby. Wyatt, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Naviere. Good to be with you. And I like everything you just said except for the Mr.
All right, we'll just take it at Wyatt Hornsby. There we go. Well, thanks for being here. I think this is really timely because we rolled out the new brand, in the summertime, but I don't think we've spent a lot of time really talking about that. So to have you, the kind of the mastermind behind how we were able to bring this to light is so exciting. So maybe you can share what you'd like to right now about the brand.
Thanks, Naviere. Really excited that we rolled out the Association Foundation brand. We actually started to roll it out last spring with our board meetings, as you may remember, and it was really well received. But recently on July 1, we launched our new website for the Association and Foundation. Really excited about that. And what this brand really speaks to, and it represents the joint mission of the Association of Graduates and the Air Force Academy Foundation. And Naviere, I know you know what that mission is.
Yes, absolutely. It's very broad and very important. Of course, serving our graduates, supporting our academy, and preserving the history of this institution. One of the questions that I think comes to mind is, what does this mean for the AOG and the foundation? I mean, did they go away?
Right. I'm very glad you asked that. And I'm going to be very blunt. Absolutely not. The AOG has been in existence for over 60 years, providing graduate services and preserving the heritage. It is a wonderful alumni association. And the Air Force Academy Foundation has been in existence for 18 years, doing incredible work and raising private support for the Academy and stewarding donor contributions. So both of these organizations continue to exist, and they always will as nonprofit organizations, and each is governed by its own board. So the AOG board governs the Association of Graduates, and the foundation board governs the foundation. And the new brand, what it really speaks to is these two wonderful organizations coming together under that joint mission, as you said, to support the Academy, serve graduates, and preserve the heritage of the institution.
I'm really glad you explained that, because as a graduate myself, I think maybe the first thing that comes to mind is, the AOG, it rolls off the tongue. We know it's Association of Graduates. And I think we might be wondering, did the graduates piece of that fall off? And from what I'm hearing, it didn't fall off. We really kind of wanted to highlight how we've come together as an organization from a staff perspective. But I would say the mission is just as important ever as it has been in focusing on our graduates, as well as while there's support of the Academy, that includes the cadets, their families, and the heritage is really all about, the supporting constituents from that. So I would even say, Wyatt, and I would love for your opinion, have we even increased our focus on our graduate community over the past, at least a few years that you and I have been here?
In my opinion, we have, Naviere, and you have provided such great leadership on that front. We have expanded membership for all graduates. We're doing so much more just in terms of local and national engagement, working with our chapters, the first assignment program that is rolled out. So I agree with you. And when you really look at the work of what we do here at the association and foundation, graduates are at the heart of it, as are the Academy. That's really what this all comes down to. And then we have these other audiences who are important to the work and who want to be a part of all the ways that we're supporting the Long Blue Line and all the ways that we're supporting the Academy and preserving that incredible heritage.
Absolutely. One that came to mind, that because the list is long of what we actually have added, but also our Next of Kin program, which really stems, again, at the heart of the graduate first, but it really is enduring as we think of the Long Blue Line. And, some of the great work that our chapters are doing out there, what I appreciate about them as an extension of our association and foundation is that they don't just focus on our graduates, but they bring in the families. They have cadets when they're visiting. They bring in their parents. I love that they recognize the Long Blue Line starts early, and then how we can continue to support and serve throughout the lifetimes of our graduates. I think it's just really meaningful how we're all working together. So I love that we're the association and foundation. I hope that it also clears up what I think is some confusion in the graduate community about who's reaching out to them. The fact that we're coming at them as one organization, I think is really important. It shows the unity of our mission, right? We are the nonprofit amongst other family of nonprofits that care about our Academy, but our existence truly is to support the Academy, serve our graduates, and preserve the heritage. So Wyatt, did we miss anything on the branding? Anything else you want to share?
So well said, Naviere. I've really enjoyed this time together, and I want to just encourage our listeners, please check out our new website. It's at usafa.org. It's for the association and foundation. And what we had before were two separate websites. The AOG had its own website. The Air Force Academy Foundation had its own website. So as part of this wonderful joint mission that we have, we've launched a brand new website that I think that our listeners, our graduates, and others will really, really enjoy. We're still adding new pages and new features as we go, but we've brought all of those critical elements of the mission into this website to make it much easier to engage, to participate, to learn more, to find out what events are happening in your community, et cetera. So encourage people to check out that website, usafa.org.
Wyatt, thank you so much. I just have to give major props to you and your team. As someone who goes to the website, as a user of the website, first off, I have to highlight two things. My friends, when you go to usafa.org, the easiest way to get an answer to your questions is to go to the Contact Us piece, because you literally can reach out the most important topics. We kind of highlight a few of them, but it is a one-stop shop into our organization. Will get you to the right people. And secondly, if you go to which shows the members of the team, you can click on a person and directly email us. So I think we've really tried to remove any barriers of communication. We want to be right there alongside your needs as your association and foundation. And Wyatt and his team really made that possible through a streamlined, wonderful website. So Wyatt, thank you so much.
Thank you, Naviere. Great work with Gradcast and along with leadership. Appreciate the time with you.
Thanks for joining us.
All right. Usually we have a little feature here, but today we're going to switch things up.
Yes.
A special highlight. And we want to talk about something that I think is very important to our graduate community that we've been working, and I think we're finally getting to the point where this thing is going to take off. And that's our career transition or career services program.
Yes.
When I'm on the road talking to grads, they love what we're doing. And of course, they're never short of an opinion on what we could be doing better.
Yes.
But that's great. We ask for that. Every time we do Gradcast, every month, we want to hear those opinions. And one of those things is working on that transition from your active duty into the civilian world. And a lot of them, and full disclosure here, have relied on a lot of their Army buddies or their Navy buddies. This is a high priority here at the Association and Foundation, and it is taking off. The Long Blue Line portal, we have Jay Drake, who's running this empowering career transitions. I think it's going to be a very useful tool for our grads.
Absolutely. So just want to give, a real, shout out to our Executive Vice President of Alumni Relations, Baha.
Yep.
Mike Cornelius, a 2000 graduate, really did listen to what we heard our graduates saying. We heard it in the survey. They really wanted direct resourcing for career transitions.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jay Drake has been hired, and he's already moved the needle. He's been reaching out to our past graduates who went through our Service Academy Career Conference to find out how they're doing, to check in with them. By the way, we just had one in San Diego that Jay took a part in. But some of the most meaningful conversations he's had have been one-on-one, where he actually sits down with the graduate to understand what their goals are.
Mm-hmm.
He'll sit down with you a year out from when you're making that transition, and he's actually has a couple conversations with those that are in that mix of looking to find that job right now. So some of the things he does, he helps with resume review, literally targeted employer search. Jay comes from a background where he has a ton of connections with some of our universities as well. So those who are looking to further their education so that they can be more marketable is another way that Jay is making that transition less daunting and more successful. So
absolutely.
I think it's been a wonderful resource, and we're really looking forward to seeing how he continues to meet this need for our community.
And it's growing.
It is growing.
We're taking those baby steps. If you have questions or if you want to offer advice, reach out to Jay.
Yes.
He's very open. He'll take your phone calls, your emails, and he wants this to grow just like the rest of us.
Exactly. And of course, you can find Jay Drake. If you go to usafa.org, you can find all of our teammates and directly email. But just to make it easier for you, it's j.drake@usafa.org. What an awesome feature. Yes.
It really is.
Up next on Gradcast, a message from our partners at the Colorado Springs Airport and events you won't want to miss.
With every departure from the Colorado Springs Airport, my heart skips a beat. With every arrival, I look forward to the easy drive home to my loved ones. It's like every new flight they offer is a new destination to discover. Fly Colorado Springs Airport and fall in love with Colorado's small airport today. Learn more at flycos.com.
All right, events, and we have plenty of them.
All right, take a
up.
big breath. Here we go, events.
Yeah, this is not like the call to action piece that's coming up
does
shortly.
that mean I still have that one?
Yes, you do.
Okay, all right.
First off, you're involved in the first one. It's our DC event. It's the next level networking. This will happen Sunday, September 21st, prior to the Airspace and Cyber Conference.
Yes, what an amazing event. So we've talked about our Next Gen Advisory Council, and this is our way to really meet the needs of what else our graduates are saying, right? They want the opportunities to transition better. It comes from networking. So a lot of our active duty and graduates alike are involved with aerospace and cyber. And so it's perfect as they come to National Harbor September 22nd through the 24th to have an opportunity to network with their USAFA graduate and current cadets as well. So Sunday, September 21st, so just a couple weeks from now, we're going to be in National Harbor at the Gaylord where AFA's conference is. We're going to be at the Belvedere Bar. Hey, listen, you just have to register, but guess what? There's no cost to you. I'm paying for the food and I want to buy your first drink. So please come see us and network with your fellow grads and cadets.
You had me at bar.
You're welcome.
Now, where can they register for this?
So we'll be putting the link out. It's going to be on our on Zoomy News. We'll make sure that link is out there. But if you go to our events in usafa.org, we absolutely will have that link available as well.
That's awesome. I might have to just make a special trip
You
out
should
there.
join us. Absolutely.
Well, speaking of fun, the Air Force Academy Association and Foundation is excited to host a tailgate at every home football game this year. We want you to be a part of Falcon Nation.
Absolutely. It just keeps getting better and better each year.
Yep. And we're also going to do a special edition tailgate at Navy.
That's right.
Yeah, there will be an all-call event held the night before. That would be on October 3rd. I believe that's going to be at the AFA in
Headquarters building.
Yes, in DC, right?
Yes. So more information will come on that on the website as well.
Absolutely. And then, of course, the tailgate, game day,
That's
Saturday,
right.
October 4th, 9 a.m. It'll be held in the parking lot of the St. Paul Lutheran Church. That's within walking distance of the stadium. So go online at our events page and get signed up for that one.
Well, that's the first step towards getting our Commander-in-Chief's Cup back, right?
Yep, that's exactly right. And we need that trophy.
That's right. And having, the Falcon Nation out there just really helps amplify, I think, the energy and the feel for that blue and silver. So
Yeah, and it's typically, and in today's climate, we don't know who's going to be there, but many times the Secretary of the Air Force is there, Chief of Staff of the Air Force is there, and they get the crowd pretty fired up. It's
right.
a lot of fun.
That's right.
And speaking of football season, it's also reunion season.
It is that time of year.
The weekend of September 19th, the classes of 70, 80, 85, and 2005 will be welcomed back to the Academy. So if you have not registered for that yet, please do so. And the week of September 26th, we will welcome the classes of 90, 95, 2000, and 2015. So sign up today if you are not already for your reunion weekends.
And actually, Vince, this is really helpful because, reunion season, the Air Force Academy has 3 major weekends that they support fully. And those are what we call the full experience reunions.
Mm-hmm.
But the association and foundation will support any class that's having a reunion throughout the year. So just for our listeners' awareness, there are 14 reunions this year.
Wow.
And they're falling at different weekends. They can be away games. They can be,
Right.
Away, not even in Colorado Springs. But, we do support all of those reunions.
It's a great time, and I've never seen this place more buzzing with excitement than those reunion weekends, and it's really cool to see. I went to a big state school. We don't have that camaraderie that you all have when you might not have seen somebody for 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. It's a really cool experience.
And we found that it's even more fun when you bring multiple classes back together. We're expecting about 4,000 people across those 3 weekends.
Wow.
Yes.
We often talk about grads giving back to the university, to the Air Force Academy. Well, on September 10th, we invite you to join us for the Janetta Lecture Series, endowed by USAFA Academy graduate Dave Janetta, class of 75. Now, this lecture series brings to the school respected writers, artists who have contributed to our understanding of war. Now, this has been going on for about 15 years. Dave had this vision, and it is just growing and growing. Another example of how grads give back to the university.
We love that. I mean, I think the more that our graduates know that when they're giving, it is so meaningful. I think that's what it's all about.
No doubt. And then one thing I should have reminded people about on that September 26th reunion weekend, on that Friday, September 26th, if you're in town for your reunion, you want to head up to the boxing gym because it's Friday night fights.
Oh, I love that. And you know what's so great? I think the superintendent has talked about the home field advantage, that anytime we have, our Falcons competing, and home field can be wherever you are, right? If they're on the road and it's in your area, that's home field. And we want our graduates to show up. And so we already know that all the cadets are going to be marching at the football games, but also showing up for events anytime you can, whether it's in your local area or here at the Air Force Academy, that's home field advantage.
It is. And we maybe should have led with that. The SOUP made that announcement, a few weeks ago that the entire cadet wing will be back in Falcon Stadium.
That's right.
And we welcome that with open arms.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Last time we went out for coffee. Where should I go? Should I go down to our commons area?
Well, we already know you're going to Aviator, but that's fine. You can just not admit it to the group.
I need you to take a swig of your
my energy
soda.
drink here. You guys can't see it, but I'm an energy drink junkie. So today I have a Bang and
nice.
A Star Blast is the flavor. But, it's going to help me bring us home for calls to action. Before I do, I want to highlight our podcast. Season 4 just kicked off this month. We are so excited for another round of Air Force Academy graduates in their leadership journey. So stay tuned for that. Every first and third Tuesday, you're going to find the latest graduate leader that we are highlighting. So be sure to check it out. As you know, we did have Nicole Vapor Ayers featured from the ISS. And so what an opportunity just to feature her as well. So, all right, we ready for these calls to action? Not yet.
Nope. I forgot. I had notes here too that this Gradcast that we do every month, the format for that is going to change.
That's right.
Also coming up in October.
Yes. We heard from you. You've spoken. You want to hear more about what's happening in your areas.
Yes.
We're bringing in some chapter features.
Love it.
Yes.
And we're going to work hard on having special guests during that Gradcast. I look forward to that.
Absolutely. I think it's also really important. A lot of graduates, we talked about this a little bit with, the cadet research and when they give.
Yes.
Right? So our Sabre Society, we talked about it being 30 years last month, the 30-year anniversary. We want to be sure to highlight some of those key stories as well, because really, we're able to do these things because of you, the graduate community, continuing to give. We're just so grateful.
We really are. And if there's segments you want to see that we can improve on or we should add, let us know.
And you know how to do that? It's time for calls to action. Here we go. So first off, you can always reach Vince and I directly. If you go to usafa.org, which is, of course, our new website, you can find Vince and I, click on us directly and email us. Of course, you can go to gradcast@usafa.org. That's our direct email to make sure whatever you think should be on Gradcast, we are directly thinking about. How you find us? You can listen to us on usafa.org/Air Force Gradcast. That and all of our podcasts on the Long Blue Leadership Podcast Network can be found. Listen, we have so many ways to connect. One way you can connect directly with other graduates and cadets is through the portal. It is your place. You can get there through LinkedIn. But how you get there to start? portal.usafa.org. Make sure you stay connected because there are cadets and graduates that want to connect with you. Lastly, you can find all of our things on the events. We talked about some amazing events.
Yep.
Start with usafa.org/events. I mean, I think, Vince, we really kind of narrowed it down quite a bit. If you just go usafa.org, you can't go wrong.
No, just put in events, whatever you want.
Gradcast,
it's
podcast,
there.
yes. But usafa.org would be kind of where you start.
Love it. You did a great job. You didn't even need that energy drink.
It's because it's all gone now. I did need it. It's gone. No, this has been great as always. This has been an amazing September session of Gradcast. What do you think, Vince?
I think so too. And I'm looking forward to doing this again in October. But until that time, I'm Vince Greco.
And I'm Naviere Walkewicz, class of 99. We'll see you
in October.